We've set aside a few minutes before we kick back off again to give a remembrance to Pat Hale. For those of you, and I think the majority of the time that this program has been here, most of you know Pat. Pat was the executive director of the SDM program for 14 years. And I want to read a little bit, but I really want to share the comments that came in from past students, from alumni, from faculty, from people who he really touched their lives. And I think you'll get an understanding, if you didn't know him personally, what kind of person he was and the impact that he had. So I'll give a little bit of background first. And after a distinguished career in the US Navy and a variety of executive level systems engineering roles in industry, Pat came to SDM in 2002. One of his first roles was to establish the graduate certificate program, but shortly after he became the director of the program and later the executive director of SDM as a whole. He was also an alumni of MIT. He earned a master's degree in ocean engineering. But I go back to the certificate program and founding of that. There was a comment that came in from an alumni. I met Pat in 2005. We discussed how to create a program where Ford of Mexico could bring employees to SDM and develop a strong systems engineering backbone for what was then a small engineering team. He was amazingly receptive and motivated to work with us, and quite frankly, made our idea come to life with his encouragement. Over time, with Pat's support, we successfully sent almost 30 engineers to SDM. However, what Pat probably didn't know is that this work inspired over 2,000 engineers and became a cornerstone to grow into what is today one of the most successful product development teams in Mexico. Pat was a key figure in the growth and evolution of SDM, and over his tenure, he oversaw the switch to the current integrated core curriculum and transitioning the program from an August start from its traditional matriculation in January. I think what stands out the most about Pat's 14 years is his unwavering commitment to students. It's been an outpouring of notes and memories from alumni commenting on the impact that Pat made in their journey here, on their careers, and I just want to share a few of those comments. Pat embodied everything MIT stands for: passion, compassion, and humility, among other virtues. He worked tirelessly for students, and I feel blessed to have been part of the SDM journey alongside him. I will always remember Pat's caring spirit and the support and love of SDM and his students. He was always there for us and opened up all that MIT had to offer. Pat was a kind and admirable leader. He truly cared for each one of his students, succeeding every time to forge families within each cohort. I'll always be thankful for his advice, support, and sympathy. I'll forever remember Pat as one of the kindest and most generous person I've ever met in my life. He helped me when I needed support the most. I'll cherish the memories I have sitting across his desk and explaining how SDM's helping me realize my professional goals. He was a great human being, and I'll miss him dearly. SDM was an intense, memorable period in our lives, and for many of us, including me, Pat was like a mentor we could always lean on for help and guidance. He may not be with us anymore, but his legacy will live on for long after. He was my advisor, my confidant, and my friend. He'll always be forever ingrained as the epitome of a great leader and an inspirational educator. On a personal note, I had a chance to work side by side with Pat for about a half a dozen years before his retirement. My office literally sits physically next to Pat's, and there was a continual stream of students that came, and oftentimes he was here at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock at night because he was always there for one more person, one more need to be able to help. Pat loved MIT. Pat loved SDM and loved sharing his passion for systems. But most of all, Pat was energized daily by the SDM community, and he'll be sorely missed. And so for those of you that knew Pat, treasure the kind of contributions that he made and head for the program. And it's kind of it's tough to fill shoes like that and come in behind him. But Pat truly was an inspiration for many. So, take a time to think about him, especially if you knew him along the way.